Welcome back, guys. I have with me, I'm very pleased to introduce you guys to Matthew, who is founder of MasterPeace, which they help and assist in detoxing the body from heavy metals. So, without further ado, welcome, Matthew.
Alchemist, how are you, brother? We're going to
I'm
uh
well,
we're going
man.
to lift some minds here today and give them some real good information that they haven't heard anywhere before. So it's going to be a great show. So we're going to learn a lot, and we're going to be able to improve our practice. If the goal is to get out of body, this is going to be a definite add-on, a huge step up in being able to do that. And so, yeah, I'm excited.
Oh man, good. That's exciting, man. That's exciting. Corey, he introduced me to you guys, and he swears by your product. So, I'm all about empowering people. So I'm highly excited to get you on the show and to get you out here to the people for sure and spread awareness about your product for sure. So can you tell us a little bit about Masterpiece? What is it exactly that you offer and what you guys do?
Yeah. So Masterpiece is not a supplement. What it does is it actually supports the body in operating at its normal function. So a lot of people are not aware that in each individual cell, we are made of millions to billions of molecules in each cell. And if you add up all the molecules in our entire body, we are 99.8% water and minerals. And then we have an electrical charge. And so when all that is in balance and it's working properly, being connected to your spiritual self, those things become a lot easier and a lot more natural. And so what Masterpiece is it is Mother Nature's most effective binder of not just heavy metals. We don't just have, unfortunately, a heavy metal problem, although we have a huge heavy metal problem with lead, mercury, aluminum, cadmium, barium, all those things, but we have a forever chemical problem. We have a forever chemical problem. There's microplastics everywhere. There's neurotoxins everywhere. There is every ingredient that's made anywhere that is synthetic, meaning that it's not normally found in nature. So if it is any chemical out there, it is a forever chemical called forever for a reason. It doesn't absorb, it doesn't break down, it's not biodegradable the way it's supposed to be. And we're living now in a world where the land, air, water, food, it's impossible for things not to be contaminated on every inch of earth. And it's severely affecting not just our physical health, but our spiritual health in all ways. And so, what we're seeing with Masterpiece is it's really simple, actually. It's two ingredients. Two ingredients. You have what's called natural clinoptilolite, which is a mineral, a naturally occurring mineral, actually, in Mother Nature, where when Earth is sick, when Earth is being messed with, and has a fever and it needs to release a fever, it has a volcano. And that's how it breaks its fever. When that volcano goes into the ocean, which makes up most of the earth, a chemical process happens and you get natural clinoptilolite. Natural clinoptilolite is called the master binder. And without going into a long discussion on chelation and detoxing, it grabs every toxin we know of, including fluoride. So we're talking about fluoride, chlorine, every category of microplastic, every heavy metal, including nickel, iron, the whole works. And it grabs it, which neutralizes its magnetic charge. And that's why on Earth, I'm in the nature science, what I call the real science. I look into Mother Nature, I see its cycles and patterns, and I learn from that. So if our bodies are the micro and Earth is the macro, I go, where on Earth, because the Earth is all toxic everywhere too, just like our bodies are, where on Earth is it the least toxic and why? And that is found in places like the Greek and Fiji Islands. And that is where you see natural clinoptilolite with ocean water. Ocean water,
Mm.
just so that people, if they're not familiar, if you dilute down ocean water and clean it up, it is 99.6 or 7% identical to your healthy blood plasma. Think about that. Think about that. You can literally take the ocean, dilute it down times three, make sure it's pure and clean, and you can use it for blood transfusions. So what we do is we take the natural clinoptilolite, we get it down to the beyond microscopic by about 10,000 times into what's called the nanometer range. And so that is the size that we want to get to because in today's world, what we're dealing with is a nanometer size problem. We're dealing with nefarious nanotoxins, nanotechnology that is in our bodies and is magnetically trapped in our cells, taking up the exact same residence of where our minerals are supposed to be. Remember, we're water minerals. If we don't have that many minerals because we have too many metals taking up the same residence in those places, then what we have is a body that's not operating correctly, okay? And so we take the natural clinoptilolite, we get it down to the nano size, to the inside the cell intracellular level, and then we coat it, we combine it with inland sea plasma. So we take isotonic sea plasma, which is the best highly sourced mineral out there. The best broad spectrum, perfect ratioed, perfect pH, perfect oxidative reduction potential, mineral water, and we coat that with the zeolite. It's coated on top of the zeolite. Apologize. And it goes in. So when you take MasterPeace, which looks like this, you do that twice a day. That right there is basically the most biocompatible. It is the most biocompatible product you've ever put into your mouth. So your body registers that it's safe, and it goes in, and the zeolite with the coated minerals finds a toxin, pulls it out of the cell. When it hits this, it releases the mineral. So you have zeolite coated with minerals. A toxin hits it, which releases some of the minerals right where your cells need it. And what you end up doing is replacing your toxins with minerals. And then all of a sudden, everything with your central nervous system. Your central nervous system, as you guys all know, is the thing that your consciousness interacts with your physical reality with, right? Your eyeballs, your ears, your taste, your sensitivity. Also, the most sensitive part of your central nervous system, your sixth sense, or should we just say your pineal gland,
Your
or your
pineal
third
gland,
eye.
yeah.
That is the most sensitive part of your central nervous system. Not your vision, not those other things. So the standard thing that we see with MasterPeace, and this is why it's actually on our card, and I know you guys won't be able to see it, but it basically says, hey, thanks for purchasing MasterPeace. And then at the bottom, it tells you to put this on your refrigerator and rate your sleep quality, right? Because if your pineal gland's working better, it's producing melatonin, serotonin, those things that help you with sleep quality. And then the second one on the list is dream vividness, dream clarity, dream lucidity. And then things like physical energy, cognitive function, your ability to process and articulate your thoughts, aches and pains, consciousness awareness, your presentness, right? And your daily joy, your childlike joy. Guess what? The world we're breathing in is compromising your health levels in every way, much more than you realize. Your body is created as a perfect vessel. It is a healing machine. It doesn't need to be supplemented with a bunch of things other than let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. MasterPeace is going to get the toxins out at an intracellular level. With a proper diet, you're going to be able to get out the rest, which is at the microscopic level. And all of a sudden, every last thing about your physical, mental, and spiritual health soars. And it's that simple. That's what we see with everybody.
Yeah.
We have way over 150,000 families out of 80 countries that have used MasterPeace. We've been on the biggest shows, and we're seeing these results. They're not going to stop because the formula is the same. We've tested the levels of heavy metals in 4 different studies. We've done a study on glyphosate that involved a total of 27 study participants. We did levels for blood. We did levels for intracellular levels of blood, which is inside the cell, which is the nano level. We've also done urine tests. We've done urine and hair combo tests. And in every single one of our studies, which are third party tested, proper ironclad clinical studies, which was able to pass the highest rigor of science, meaning that they are published in double blinded peer reviewed articles, we show a significant mobilization and purging of all heavy metals and the other forever chemicals. We've tested chlorine, fluoride, atrazine, which is that gender dysphoria chemical, making the girls want to be boys and the boys want to be girls. Things like graphene oxide, hydrogel, polypropylene, lanthanides. These are things that are in the mRNA vaccine delivery system that have now been shown everywhere. That is not good for anybody. It's quite the opposite. And so getting these poisons out of your body allows your body to take over, allows your body to function the way it's supposed to, and you will see it in the way that you feel. Because when you're a lot less poisoned, you're going to feel, think, and do better, meaning you're going to affect your community better. Means everything about your life becomes easier. Not just doing out-of-body experiences, but how easy you wake up in the morning, what type of mood and attitude you walk around in. All those things improve by being depoisoned. There's a reason why they needed everybody to be poisoned. Because
Yeah.
when you're not
Yeah, for
poisoned,
sure.
you're a critical thinker. You discern things more. You care a lot more. You're not just going to get huddled up and sheeped up and pushed off a hill anymore. You're going to
Yeah.
feel better to do something about it too. So
Yeah.
that's in a
That's very
nutshell.
powerful stuff, man. Thank you for that powerful introduction, man. There's so many things jam packed in there, guys. You guys may want to rewind this a couple times and listen to everything that this man just said. And I agree with everything that you just said. From all of my out of body experiences, everything that I know to be true about this place, I understand that we are electromagnetic beings and we live in an electromagnetic flat plane of existence. So, what does that mean? We want our bodies to conduce electricity. What stops that? The heavy metals that are in our body that stops the conducive electricity. Um, and we all know. I'm happy you mentioned fluoride as well, because fluoride is the number one thing that we all know that limits the pineal gland. And we all know that they've been poisoning us with heavy metals for forever. So let me ask you, Matt, when's the first time that you woke up to the fact that we were absorbing toxins without us realizing it?
Oh, well, I've always been very curious. I was doing out of body experiences when I was 19. I was reading books on them then. So my whole life, I've actually done astral projection, OB stuff. But when it comes to being health conscious and all that, when I really started realizing, it was really kind of weird, actually. My wife told me about this guy in Africa, and he was sending dogs, but he was doing videos in the pineal gland. And I started looking into it because I'm like, something so magical as that. If they would lie to us about that, they would lie to us about anything. And so that kind of started my awakening 7, 8 years ago or so. And I knew right away that, I only got this body to live in, and the healthier I feel, the better I do in all ways, and the better my life is. So, there's people out there that very successful, big titles, big accolades, bunch of money. And I tell you what, if your health is failing, it doesn't matter. I've never met someone that wouldn't give up everything they have if they were just perfectly healthy the next day. And so our health is our wealth. And I was with the platform, and I thought that they really wanted to help the world. I've always been a big humanitarian. I've always had a big heart, always knew I could make a difference, wanted to make a difference, tried to make a difference. And found out these people were a lot more concerned with money and screwing each other over than actually getting this product out to the world. And I had developed it at the Kansas State University. Now, when we did our first study, it was the first and only study of its kind in the world to this day. And it was on graphene oxide and polypropylene and polyethylene glycol, which is hydrogel, and PFOs and PFOAs. And we didn't know the levels, right? Because here's the facts, brother. We all listen to a lot of people. Has anyone ever like taken a study participant, pulled their levels of how much metals they got, and then put them on a product and then come back later and test them? And, because
Yeah, I
when
have
you're
never
talking
seen
about
that.
getting rid of heavy metals, yeah, exactly, exactly. So we didn't know what to expect because I'm a very scientific minded person. Like when I talk about the pineal gland, I'm not going to be more on the spiritual side. I'm going to be, which spiritual connection is key to everything, but I'm going to talk more in terms of biology and how it works and how to make the pineal gland physically work better so that we can have that spiritual connection. And so I knew not to believe the hype and I didn't know. But when it came back, and one of our study participants in the initial pilot study of graphene oxide and all those other forever chemicals I just named was a naturopath of 25 years, like someone whose daughter wins the bodybuilding competition every year, the last 2 years, the whole categories. I mean, she had high levels of graphene oxide. So we were shocked and stunned at just how high the levels of glyphosate, of like linden, phosgene, levels in everybody, no matter who you are, no matter how your healthy habits help. Yes, your healthy habits help. But we are living in a world where we are bombarded with anything that's nano. When they drop it from the sky, guys, if you jump out of a plane, it takes you 2 minutes to hit the ground if you're real high. Well, they drop it out of the plane, and it takes 3 days to hit the ground. A little air blows it all up. We're in a big fishbowl of this stuff, of these toxins. It runs off, it gets into the water, all the water sources
And
everywhere.
hold on. And
And so,
to touch on that 1 second, I just want to verify what you're saying because out of my body, I have seen chemtrails are a real thing. They really are releasing these heavy toxins and metals into our
oh
air,
yeah,
and we are inhaling it and ingesting these. This is 100% fact, guys. 100% fact.
oh yeah. All you gotta do is test the levels of, jet fuel. Even if someone wants to claim, okay, chemtrails are real because of this. If you, at bare minimum, if you think your car's exhaust isn't poisonous, then go in the garage and shut the door and turn your car on for a while and see how poisonous it gets, right? I mean, it kills you. All right. Well, we got big jet engines that has far jet fuel is 10 times more dirty than regular fuel. And no matter what, it's blowing everywhere from that. Even if someone doesn't want to believe in chemtrails, which I would suggest do a little bit more research. But no matter what, they're dumping the worst toxins. All those refineries, there's no filters. The filters are stopping the bigger stuff. They're not stopping the nano size stuff. And if you think that it's not, then how about this? Why are we in a worldwide health epidemic of massive proportions where people are zombies, where people, no matter what they do, are having a hard time maintaining their health? It's because of the toxic soup that we're in. And so when we got back the results in our second, third, our first study to the levels of heavy metals and all that is alarming. And our bodies are constantly trying to get it out, but a lot of it can't get out. And so it builds up. But this is the big thing that we've seen. So think about if we're testing your hair. Think about if we're testing your urine. Okay. Those things are outside of your body. So if we're wanting to know if all these trapped toxins inside of us, our heavy metals, are getting out, then the initial test would show this much coming out. And then if you're taking a product like MasterPeace that works properly, you will see the hair and the urine levels go way up, which means the body's purging it, releasing it, getting rid of the trapped stores of heavy metals, which means your body is unloading what it doesn't have need in it. And then after a very short amount of time, because of how effective MasterPeace is, and this has blown the minds of every single last expert that does hair tissue mineral analysis and provoked urine test graph studying. They are baffled because MasterPeace works about 100 times better than anything they've ever seen. And because it's swapping out the toxin with the mineral right away, people aren't feeling that nasty detox feeling or what they would call the Herxheimer effect. And so it's gentle, but also the most effective. And we see the levels like of aluminum, of nickel, of arsenic. These go way up for like 3 or 4 months as the body's releasing them. And then it comes crashing down, which means you have finally offloaded and purged out all of those trapped life accumulated toxins. And guys,
So
you are an electromagnetic being. In fact, if you're a scientist and I'm measuring your body and you're healthy, you have negative 80 millivolts. That is what they call your oxidative reduction potential. When you are grounded to Mother Earth and Mother Earth isn't being shocked, you are supposed to be at 7.83 hertz because you're grounded to a 783 hertz being at that time. You are a negative charged vessel. All these toxins and metals are positively charged, which means when it's inside of you and there's too many metals inside of you, it's negating your negative charge. The more electrical charge, the more negative electrical charge, the more life you have. If you have 120 millivolts like kids do, they're like, well, most people are walking around at about negative 25 millivolts. Dead, they can't think, they don't have no energy, they don't care about nothing, you know. And so they are totally what's doing they're it's called magnetic toxic. You're being bombarded with magnetic toxic, genotoxic, and cytotoxic toxins. You get that stuff out with MasterPeace. Then you make your healthiest lifestyle and dietary choices, and your body will be able to do the rest. You won't get sick. You won't have energy problems like you used to, as long as you're not having other vices and other problems. And it will give you a new lease on life.
that's great. So before we get into some of the more scientific things and your research and things that went into this product, when you said one thing that struck me is, so can you explain to us how would you exactly take Masterpiece, how often, and what will you see after you take it in a week after you take it, to a month after you take it, to 3 months, and so forth?
Yeah. So we all have spaces, places in our minds, our brain, and everywhere where we have like a buildup of toxins. So there's a lot of people that their first couple days, I'd probably say half your people when they take it are gonna like have a wild night of dreaming that they haven't had in a long time, where they remember their dream all night. Something real important, like you go see one of your, your dead grandma, or that I'm using my example, and who loved me more than anybody. That's for another day. And you will go, whoa, that was too strange. And here, now it may take 3, 4 weeks because we're all different. There's no magic clock on when you're going to get this. Are you going to feel high when you take it? Some people do. Um, but all in all, that's not really where it's at. This isn't a drug. What this is a gentle way to remove the toxins, which are the things that is getting in your way of all the other stuff. So I would just expect this is all you do. You tap your palm twice, take 4 drops, move it around in your mouth. It doesn't go to your stomach. It digests sublingually right away because it's smaller than nano. It's actually sub-angstrom level, which is called the picometer range. And that's all you got to do, guys. You got to do that twice a day
Yeah.
and
So
make the healthiest choices in your diet, and that's it.
great. Yeah, and diet is important too, guys. But so when you take it, it's dissolving in your mouth. So you don't even have to swallow this. It's just dissolving in your mouth when
No.
you take it. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And how
All the minerals
exactly
in the clinical. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
and no, it's okay. And can you walk us through exactly how it's removing these heavy metals and what that process really looks like?
Yeah. Let's just think of Let's just think in terms of magnetism. Opposites attract, right? The negative attracts to the positive when we think about magnets. Your body is electromagnetic being. And so poisons and minerals both have a positive charge, a positive magnetic charge. Okay. Now, the zeolite is the strongest negative charge. So it would bond to minerals or bond to toxins. The problem with toxins is that they have a much stronger positive magnetic charge than minerals. So if you think about it, since the poisons have a stronger magnetic pull than minerals, when we're taking in poisons, they get trapped and stuck and take up residence magnetically where your minerals are supposed to be, so that your body, your soul, your salt, could be interacting properly with your water. So what MasterPeace is, zeolite Z, is we take the clinoptilolite, the master binder, the negative charge, we get that particle down smaller than nano. Smaller than nano, goes way thousands of times smaller than what it takes to get through your blood-brain barrier. Your blood-brain barrier, whatever we want to call it, takes it's a single blood cell gets through. A single blood cell is 7.5 micrometers, which is 7,500 nanometers. MasterPeace is, most of it is at 1 nanometer and smaller. So anything less than 7,500 nanometers gets everywhere in your body that water goes. We are 1 nanometer. We get there easy. So it is a negative zeolite mineral, and it's coated with minerals. That's how it goes in. It goes into your body like this. So it's carrying in the minerals. And once it finds the toxin, it drops the mineral off right there, where your body just had a toxin. The zeolite magnetically pulls the toxin. It hits the zeolite. The zeolite releases the minerals that it carried in right where your cell needs it. And you just upgraded your body from being toxic, that cell, from being toxic and positively charged, excess positively charged, where your electromagnetism's not working properly and your body is poisoned, and it alkalizes the cell, it nourishes the cell, and it takes away the magnetic toxic symptoms that your body has all at once.
That's amazing. So how did you guys test this out?
We've tested it every single way that we can find. We've done the intracellular levels, which means the inside the cell levels of blood. We all know how important blood is. So we would test the inside the cell levels of graphene oxide, of hydrogel, of all those, fluoride, chlorine. There's a whole 27 of those compounds. So we tested the levels, and then we put the people on MasterPeace. They took the normal dosing of 10 drops a day. That's all it takes, which means a bottle is going to last you 2 months if you take 10 drops a day. And then we retested them at 35 days and then again at 90 days. Now the blood is not like urine or hair. Urine or hair is carrying out toxins. It's releasing toxins. The blood isn't, you don't want the levels in the blood to go up. You want to see the blood levels go down right from the gate. Yeah, and what we found when we tested the level, so when we tested the levels in our initial pilot study and then our second study, and then we did a glyphosate study along with that too, what we seen, everything that we tested was a decrease of about 50% to 80%. So ask yourself this. Here's the big question. If everybody on Earth has pretty high levels of these toxins before they start taking an effective detox product like MasterPeace, so your healthy diet right now is getting down your intracellular level, which is the toxins in between your cells. It's not doing anything for the toxins inside your cells because that's a magnetic problem. It doesn't come out depending on how healthy of a diet you have. So when aluminum intracellular toxicity is the number one cause for autism, brain fog, severe dementia issues, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, anything about brain functioning Its aluminum toxicity has been directly linked to be probably the biggest reason for that. And unfortunately, they have those nano-sized aluminum in all the shots and vaccines and things like that. So we can see how big of a, and in the prescription pills, so we can see how big of a problem it is on our health. Well, our aluminum study that we are setting up for publishing right now showed, get this, out of a total of 27 study participants, from day 1 to day 90 of their intracellular blood levels of aluminum, the aluminum levels went down 80%. That's a third party tested IGL lab in Germany, has the highest level technology, the highest level equipment there is for testing intracellular levels of blood. And we showed an 80% decrease. Think about that. Think about what your health with 80% less aluminum in it. How about your lead? How about your mercury? How about your arsenic? How about these microplastics that people are talking about everywhere? If you knew that you could take something that took 10 drops a day, which costs you $1 a day, what does your health feel like? How do you live your life better with 70, 65, 80% less of those toxins in your body, out of your body? That's the question. That's what everybody should find out for themselves. There's no negative, harmful side effects because we're dealing with nature. We're dealing with, if inland sea plasma water, which is the highest source stuff in the world, is going to cause problems, we're screwed. We're all screwed. We're all dead because, it's just ridiculous to think that. So, and then we have clinoptilolite, a natural mineral that your body cannot digest. It's a lava mineral that has a highly magnetic negative charge. Your body doesn't know what to do with it. It can't metabolize it. So we get it down to the nano size. And when it goes in, it traps toxins and your body releases it in 3 to 5 hours with the toxins trapped and stuck to it. It's that simple.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So this product is literally going into your cells, removing the toxins through magnetism, and at the same time it's removing it, it's releasing the minerals that your cell actually needs.
Yeah. Well, but the only difference is it's not going into the cell, it goes up against the cell. And so picture having a super strong magnet. I wish I had one by me. And then let's say you dip it into a bucket of nails. We're going to call the nails minerals. So you take a really strong magnet and you dip it into the bucket of nails, right? And the nails are minerals. Well, this magnet is going to have an affinity for a stronger magnet, which is a poison. Zeolite has an affinity for poisons, not minerals. So if the zeolite carries in the bucket of the nails that's trapped in it, and then a toxin goes against it, it's going to release some of those nails, which is right where your cell needs them to, so that it can take it up. And then this carries out the toxin. Yep.
I see.
The zeolite is a carrier system. It's a nature delivery system. Instead of the mRNA delivery system, which is bringing you in the worst synthetic compounds and poisons known to man ever been created, man playing God nonsense. It's literally a natural mineral your body can't mess with, and it brings in the minerals and it picks up the toxins and drops off the minerals. That easy.
That's great, man. I mean, this sounds like a miracle product. It really does, especially, in the field that I'm in, where, I'm working on purifying my body to the extreme, to the most extreme extent I can. I'm constantly drinking salt water. I'm eating once a day, trying to be healthy as I can, exercising, and this I feel like will actually take me to the next level. Like I said, Corey, he swears by it. I can't wait to get my masterpiece and start seeing the effects as well. Um, Now, let me ask you. So, how long have you guys been around? Has there been any long-term studies on the effects of the body on this?
2.5 years, is how long we've been in business. So when you're talking about natural clinoptilolite, you're talking about something that's been on Earth for millions and millions of years. So if you go to PubMed and look up any human studies that they've ever done with clinoptilolite, zeolite, which is again a natural mineral on Earth, there's never been a study that has shown any form of harm done to a human body, period. When you're talking about natural clinoptilolite, zeolite. So,
Now,
you're
I'm
dealing with the
gonna,
safest substances on.
yeah, I'm gonna
But no,
jump
we've
out
had
on a limb
nobody.
here.
We have a study. We have a study right now. We have a study right now with over 500 people that you could go look on our website, and at the top tab you'll see where it says hair test, and you'll touch on it. And when you look, we have 500 people that have opted into this study in 22 countries. No one has shown negative, harmful side effects. You're dealing with Mother Nature.
Yeah, I had to ask that just to clear that up because I'm sure, there may be some people that have those questions. But guys, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, since it's all natural, this is a naturally occurring product in nature. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is the same as taking sea moss or Shilajit
Safer.
or something of that nature.
Safer.
Safer?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's not safer. I would say it's more biocompatible. They're both safe. They're all safe. Yes, you're dealing with nature. So
And from
yeah,
somebody
they're just as safe. Yeah.
and from somebody that's been personally taking, sea moss, on a daily for the last 2 or 3 years of my life, um, I'm great. I'm thriving. And so, guys, I really believe that Masterpiece combined with eating healthy once a day, combined with taking sea moss, combined with practicing your OBEs, practicing your lucid dreaming, you're going to become an uncontrollable soul in the human form. I truly believe
Yeah.
that this was the
Yes.
missing piece to help us combat the evils that are at play here against us, and I truly believe that this is a missing piece to help us all step back into our divinity. Now, so since the purpose of this is to people watching this, they want to purify their vessel, right? They want to achieve lucidity. They want to leave their body easier. How can Masterpiece help with that?
Well, it's real simple. Your pineal gland or your inner eye, that is absolutely key to be able to achieve an OB. When you're I catch myself in my dreams. I do a little thing where I'll pretend like I got to wake up for a real important meeting. And so I'll be dreaming and I'll look at my watch, which is in my dream. But then when I look at my watch, I realize I don't own a watch. And I'm like, okay, I'm dreaming. Hold on. Don't wake up. Don't wake up. And then I started feeling I can go right up and then I'll go. And then I really just think anymore because I've done it my whole life. I just go, okay, look down on my body. And I'll just go right to looking down at my body. And then I know I'm good to go. Now, is that uh in order to achieve what's holding most people's OB practices back is that they have you third eye blind. They have it clogged up with fluoride. They have it not operating. And that's just your whole central nervous system. It's not just your pineal gland. So having that operating the right way, and all in all being healthier, it's going to release most people into being able to achieve an OB. If their goal is to achieve an OB, I can't imagine why they wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
The
And
intracellular nanotechnology range has been destroying people's health for 30 years. It's ran our whole population's health off a cliff.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask to get your insight on that because it's been my own personal experience why I've been so successful with having OBEs is because I'm constantly aware of my electromagnetic field around me. I'm constantly doing things and playing with the energy around me. And as I'm flowing, as I'm, constantly aware of my energy flowing throughout my body, that makes me more aware and more able to shut my body down at a quick rate. And I believe like if a product like if I'm taking this, I truly believe like that will help in that process tremendously. If the electrical flow in my body's flowing, it's gonna expedite the whole
Yeah,
process for sure. So
it will.
yeah, man.
It will. Yeah, they had we hear from anybody that's meditating, man, I can fall into my meditation so much faster now. This is that a lot of times I've had a lot of people say that's the number one thing they notice if they're heavy meditators, which I suggest everybody become.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, man. So I think we covered pretty much everything. So what would you say if somebody watching this thinks I'm fine, I don't need to detox? What would you say to that person?
Explain to me how the levels of toxins in your body isn't affecting your health. I mean, tell me one type of scientific factor that even if you have good health, you can feel good. You may not you may not notice that you could be healthier, but there's plenty of people out there say, I sleep pretty good. I got pretty good digestion. I got pretty good energy during the day. Yeah, yeah. But I'm telling you, you would be, do you have the energy and do you have the childlike joy of a 5 year old? Because that's how you are when you don't, when you are not poisoned. You become happier. You have more daily joy. That's one of the most biggest things you're going to feel. You're going to sleep better. Everybody that sleeps better is going to have a better day. If your pineal gland's working great and you're sleeping more vivid, if you are practicing OBS, that is that's one of the strongest empowering things that anybody can learn and achieve for themselves. Having the empowerment of being able to control what you really are, which is this beautiful consciousness spirit that's having a physical reality right now. You are you are not a physical being with a trap tank. You are a spirit, a consciousness, infinite thing that is connected to the infinite. And you're just in a physical vessel with a central nervous system that you're interacting with the physical world with right now. But you're going to get the things out of the way with MasterPeace that prevents you from being your highest human consciousness spirit.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe it will definitely help aid in that for sure. And so those of you guys watching, if you guys are interested in picking up a bottle of Masterpiece, I will certainly link in the description where you guys can purchase this from. You guys can use my code, the Alchemist 369, and you guys can pick some of this up. I'm getting some myself. My OBE brother Corey already is taking it, and he said he's seen tremendous improvement. Um, yeah, guys, I think this is the missing link. I think this is a great way for us to combat, the evils against us, and I fully support it. So, with that said, Matt, man, I want to thank you so much for your time, man. It was truly a pleasure talking to you and really hearing some of the science behind it and your passion. And yeah, man, thank you so much for your time and sharing this with my audience. I truly appreciate it.
Thanks for contributing to the world in the best capacity you have and helping empower people with knowledge because truth is power and truth will set us free. And it's really going to take the best of all of us at this point to turn things around. And so, Masterpiece has its place in that, is definitely the keystone ingredient to making to being able to support us and getting ourselves going. But yeah, thank you for doing what you're doing, and we need a million more of you.
Yeah, they're here. They're here. They just need to wake up too, for sure. But
That's right.
all right.
That's exactly
All
right.
right, man. Thank you, man. You have a great one. I appreciate your time.